Supermassive posted a video showing off footage from their Gamescom experience. Can we glean any new information from it? Let's find out by watching said video. First off is a bit of a retrospective, talking about how they previously brought Madan and Devil and me to the show, but then they mentioned that they're now here 2 years in a row, since they announced 8020 at last year's Gamescom, in a room that featured a large portable air conditioner. Okay, I know this isn't important, but I've got so many questions about the air conditioner. Why couldn't they find a black or gray one to match the room's decor? How is it venting hot air? If you turn it on without a hose leading to another room or outside, it's going to put out exactly the same amount of hot air as it does cold air, accomplishing nothing. Was it so stifling in the room that the person in charge of working the presentation, who was presumably set up at that laptop stand, just needed any relief they could get, so they stood, or sat on that stool, directly in front of the air conditioner, with it blasting cold air on their back while they worked, even though the overall room temperature didn't change at all? I mean, yeah, now that I say it, that makes sense, as something you would definitely do to cope with the horrible August swelter in a poorly air-conditioned building. And yeah, here's Will Doyle standing in front of it, hopefully staying nice and cool while explaining the game. Also, hopefully it wasn't too noisy, as that's often an issue with portable AC units. They decorated the place with nice wall decals meant to represent the ship. Is this supposed to be a specific character's monster face, or just a generic victim? I don't recognize them, although I'm famously awful at that, so I probably wouldn't. Here's a decal of the Hunter monster that we saw for just a moment coming out of the Goop node in the Chapter 6 excerpt. Gotta say, it looks really good, and I can't wait to see it in action. How many deaths do you think it's going to be responsible for? Also, while we're waiting for Directive 8020, I'll probably be making an unsubstantiated theory video about this cutie, so look forward to that.
I've got this giant hunter. We hadn't really revealed him too much before.
It's true, this is the first time we're seeing this guy, which leads me to two questions. One, is he going to get a dramatic intro in the game? Or is that wall emergence from the character's fleeing scene the first glimpse we get of the hunter? The reason I ask is, when they go down to the oxygen room in the footage we've seen, they're not acting like people who know that the possible threat involves a hulking monstrosity. I'd be a little more nervous, is all I'm saying. Secondly, statue of this guy as part of a collector's edition, please? I know this is probably not going to happen. We've heard nothing about a physical edition, and they've only announced the digital deluxe. But you guys just launched a merch store, and for someone who already has all of the statues, it would be nice to add something new to the shelf. They show off people playing the game, which includes this bit of Carter almost getting caught in the sneak scene. Actually, is she spotting him here? And a chase is about to start? If not, she is very unobservant. It's out of focus, but here we can see Carter standing at a lit-up alcove of some kind. I wonder what scene this is from. In all the gameplay footage we've seen, there's been no free exploration before the spacesuit sequence, which logically is where this would be. Then we've got Dan Hooley, I think? No one's last names are credited in the video for some reason. Is he who all the Dans in the games are named after? I'm fascinated by what seems to be a stick-on mic that everybody's wearing. I guess it's a wireless mic, and maybe like there's a magnet that holds it onto your clothes? I haven't actually seen one of these before. Here's the informative flyer people were handed. It's frustratingly out of focus, so I'll just read it to you so you don't have to strain your eyes. From the creators of Until Dawn and the Quarry, an all-new sci-fi survival horror adventure. Hunted by an alien organism capable of mimicking its prey, the crew of the Cassiopeia must outwit their pursuers to make it home alive. To help them survive, the choices you make are more important than ever. Evade real-time threats where any step could be your last. Decide who to trust in a world where anyone could be a deadly extraterrestrial. And this last word is unclear. Creature, monster. Can someone who went to Gamescom and got the flyer let us know? Yay! We're actually going to see Sims playing that game her bio says she's obsessed with. The game is called Orinoco, and it's seemingly named after a Venezuelan river. But will we, as the player, be able to load it up? I'm always happy when minigames get into things like this. I recently played something that's still sadly under embargo, And in that game, I was delightfully surprised to see it had both a pinball game and a fake JRPG, in addition to the main action. Yes, I know it would be making a whole other game in addition to the one you're already making, but Night in the Woods did it? So can it really be beyond Supermassive's capabilities? Finally, here's something that I noticed that isn't important at all. The game's font. The letters have gaps in them that are very reminiscent of how stencils are designed for painting. You can't have a floating gap in a letter, after all, so you need a strip of material to hold the void part of the D in place. It's a very industrial and utilitarian-feeling font, like something you'd see quickly thrown up on a wall and copied exactly over and over. The 80-20 part, on the other hand, doesn't have those lines, even though every number but the 2 would require them if it were part of the same font as the Directive. The 80-20 does, however, have little dots of various sizes arranged in tight rows, looking a little like audio levels or, and I know this is a bit of a stretch, a chart of somebody's DNA. Does that mean anything? It's way too early to tell. I'm glad to see the game was so well received at the convention, and it seems like everyone had a good time. Obviously, we'd all love to get our hands on the demo, but if we get one at all, it's gonna be months away. So we'll just have to satisfy ourselves for now with the Little Nightmares 3 demo, which is currently playable. It's weird. They mentioned they had 2 games at the show this year, and we saw a couple of glimpses of the line for Little Nightmares 3, but I guess Namco is handling all of the PR for that title, so we don't get any more information about the game. Still, plenty of reasons to get psyched. For now, though, I've been the Hidden Object Guru. Thanks for watching. If you had a good time and you'd like to see more, there's buttons coming up to help with that. Questions, comments, your own thoughts about the Directive 80-20 font, go in the comments section below the video. Play my game, Clown in the Woods, at itch.io. Or, I've got a bunch of games on Steam. I don't know why I never plug them. Join me back here for more Directive 80-20 videos. But until then, I'll say that's right. Au revoir.